After being married to Jerry for 5 years, he pretended to have amnesia to save his childhood sweetheart Jennifer, who was suffering from leukemia. He forced me to donate bone marrow despite being 3 months pregnant. After the miscarriage, I heard Jerry's confidant talking to him in a low voice outside the ward. "Mr. Wildblood, the doctor said that your wife is already weak. If she loses this pregnancy, she may have difficulty getting pregnant again. If she knows that you have not lost your memory, Anne won't know. Besides, she and I still have many years to make up, but Jennifer's condition can't wait a moment. I can't watch Jennifer die." After knowing the truth, I completely gave up and boarded a plane to fly overseas. Jerry went crazy. He threw away his noble and proud character, and humbly begged me to love him again. When I left the hospital, my tears kept rolling down my pale face like a dam bursting. I stumbled all the way and returned home in a daze. Miss Nancy opened the door for me. She was startled when she saw me and came to help me. "What happened, ma'am? I'll go and inform Mr. Wildblood right now." Miss Nancy was about to touch her phone when I grabbed her wrist. "Don't look for him," I said hoarsely. Perhaps it hurt her, or maybe she was scared by me. Miss Nancy looked even more flustered. She promised not to look for Jerry, but after helping me sit on the sofa, she hid aside and made a phone call. While she was talking, she secretly glanced at me. I didn't need to ask who she was contacting. I didn't feel like caring about her. I cried in front of the wedding photo on the wall. In the photo framed in a gold frame, Jerry and I smiled at each other, our eyes full of love, as if this happiness could last forever. We met on a group trip in college. During the mountain climbing, I accidentally fell down. Jerry pulled me up despite the danger, but he broke his arm. Since then, he had been shining like a hero in my eyes. With my unremitting efforts, the taciturn iceberg male god Jerry finally agreed to become my boyfriend. We had been in a good relationship from school uniforms to wedding dresses, and we were a model couple that everyone envied. In terms of family background, we were also evenly matched, and our two businesses could also help each other. Everyone said that we were a match made in heaven, and a perfect match. At the end of last year, I was found out that I was pregnant, and I was very happy. I was grateful to God for finally giving us the fruit of our love. But all these beautiful dreams were completely shattered after Jerry's childhood sweetheart Jennifer came back from a divorce abroad. When we met for the first time, Jennifer took Jerry's arm in front of me and kissed him twice on both cheeks. In my shocked eyes, Jennifer showed me a provocative smile. "Jerry and I grew up together as good friends. It's normal for us to kiss and hug each other. Don't worry, if anything happens, it won't be your turn," she said lightly. In response, Jerry just smiled at her lovingly and didn't give me any explanation. After that, whenever Jennifer called, Jerry would come whenever and wherever she wanted, completely ignoring the fact that I was pregnant at home. I cried and made a fuss about this, but Jerry just said, "Jennifer is in poor health and is depressed after her divorce. As a friend, I can't ignore her." If he had restrained himself before, he completely lost his fear after losing his memory in the car accident. He stayed out all night and ignored me. Countless times, I saw Jennifer's updates on my moments late at night, all of which were of her holding hands with Jerry, or even lying intimately in his arms, eating the fruit he fed her. Whenever Jennifer attended an event, Jerry would stay by his side, not even looking at me. It was as if they were the inseparable couple, and everyone else was an unnecessary third party. I had always deceived myself into thinking that as soon as the child was born, Jerry might be awakened by fatherly love and come back to me. But even this humble expectation was now killed by him. When I was in despair, Miss Nancy came to my side with red eyes. "Madam, I told Mr. Wildblood about your situation, and begged him to come back to see you, but he scolded me instead. He said you were just acting a sad drama, trying to force him to bow his head by asking for favors." He hung up the phone without giving me a chance to explain, and never answered the next call. Her tone became lower and lower, and she even wiped away tears. "You are still pregnant? How can Mr. Wildblood be so cruel? He was fine a few months ago." The corners of my mouth curled up sarcastically. Yes, a few months ago, Jerry, who just knew that I was pregnant, was so happy that he was like a big boy who got a favorite gift. He hugged me and turned around several times, holding my face and kissing me again and again. I had a picky appetite, and I ate less because of discomfort after pregnancy. In order to coax me to eat more, Jerry, who had never touched water since childhood, learned to cook for me. Even if his hands were either cut or burned, he never complained, just hoping that I could eat more. In order to prepare everything that might be needed during pregnancy and delivery, the degree of attentiveness was so great that even my own mother could not compare to him. Every day after work, he would lie on my belly to listen to the baby's movements, and read fairy tales to the baby for prenatal education. But such a good man, after that car accident, coldly pushed me away when I cried and wanted to hug him. "Madam, I don't know you at all. Please respect yourself." As soon as Jennifer appeared, he rushed up and took her into his arms like a lover. With the cover of amnesia, Jerry no longer needed to care about my feelings. He often got close to Jennifer in front of me, and they were so close that they wanted to stick together. In order to treat Jennifer's leukemia, Jerry repeatedly ordered me to do matching when I was still pregnant, just because we both have panda blood, which was 1 in a million. He used to feel distressed when he saw my finger skin broken, but now he didn't frown even when he saw me being drawn to miscarriage. If Jerry really had amnesia, I could still comfort myself. At least his love for me was not fake. But now, I couldn't tell whether he really loved me. Just when I was crying and silent, there was a loud bang from the door being kicked open. A burst of hurried footsteps came towards the sofa, and Miss Nancy said happily, "Mr. Wildblood, you are finally back, madam." Miss Nancy's words were not finished, and she was interrupted by a slap. Jerry slapped me hard in the face, grabbed my collar and glared at me fiercely. "Damn it, what did you do?" Jennifer fainted after using your bone marrow, he shouted at my face. His eyes were fierce and he wanted to cut me into pieces. I was a little confused. It was obviously him who forced me to donate bone marrow, and he was the one who found the hospital and the doctor. Now that something happened, how dare he ask me? How should I know? I was about to explain, but was pushed to the ground by Jerry. Poisonous woman. You must have not prepared according to the doctor's requirements. He pointed at me, his face full of resentment. I found the top doctors in the country to do the surgery. They perform hundreds of bone marrow transplants every year and have never failed. But something happened to you. You must have taken the medicine on purpose and contaminated your bone marrow. Jerry roared at me. At this moment, I suddenly felt weak all over. Even more powerless than when I heard Jerry say that he had not lost his memory. I was really tired. Get to the hospital right now and cooperate with the doctor for the examination. If the pairing doesn't work once, do it twice or 3 times, until you cure Jennifer. Jerry pulled me up, but he seemed to have forgotten that I should be resting in the hospital now. The slap just now had made me dizzy and almost unconscious. Now my eyes went black and I fell straight to the ground. The slap just now had made me dizzy and almost unconscious. Now my eyes went black and I fell straight to the ground. Madam, madam, Miss Nancy shouted in panic. Don't worry about her. I want to see how long she can continue to act. Jerry stopped Miss Nancy and let me fall to the ground. When I woke up, I was in my room. Miss Nancy fell asleep on the bed. I looked at the time again and it was already late at night. Madam, are you awake? How do you feel? Miss Nancy asked. As she was awakened by me, I propped myself up and tried to sit up, but the bone-eroding pain in my lower body made me unable to move at all. I'm sorry, madam. Mr. Wildblood won't let me take you to the hospital. He insisted that you were faking it. Miss Nancy started to tear up as she spoke. But you are so weak. How could you be faking it? Why did Mr. Wildblood do that? Her face was full of bitterness. I smiled bitterly and shook my head. Since I met Jerry, he had never been so crazy. I had no problem with him and Jennifer being childhood sweethearts. Even if he had the conditions to donate bone marrow to Jennifer, I had no problem. But he should never force me to donate bone marrow to his childhood sweetheart. Even the price was that I lose my child and lose my fertility in the future. I was completely disappointed in him. Miss Nancy, did Jerry leave any words? I took a deep breath and asked calmly. Hearing this, Miss Nancy hesitated a little, but finally answered truthfully. Mr. Wildblood said he is waiting for you to apologize in the hospital, and asked you to go there as soon as you wake up. But don't worry, we won't tell him when we wake up. Just have a good rest. It won't be too late to go to the hospital in the morning. Miss Nancy smiled helplessly. I know she was doing this for my own good, but I didn't want to make it difficult for her. Then I shook my head to indicate that it was okay, and got up and got out of bed after a while. After packing up, I went to the hospital again. Of course, I didn't go to apologize to them. I went to file for divorce with Jerry. At the door of the ward, Jerry's confidant was dozing at the door. Who? He woke up instantly when I passed by. When he saw it was me, his expression was a little confused, but more panicked. Anne-Marie, why are you here? Didn't Miss Nancy say you were still unconscious? While chatting with me, he fiddled with his mobile phone behind his back. I didn't say anything nonsense and went around him to enter the ward, but he blocked the door with his hands on the ground. Anne, Mr. Wildblood and Miss Watson are resting inside. Can we talk about anything after dawn? His tone was somewhat warning. Seeing this, I stopped talking nonsense and called Jerry directly. The call was quickly connected. Jerry on the other end spoke in a lazy tone, obviously just woken up from a deep sleep. Didn't you ask me to apologize to you? Now that I'm here, why don't you dare to open the door? I asked him, but he remained silent. Why? Are you worried that I will discover the secret that you and Jennifer sleep in the same bed? I continued to ask him. Crazy woman, what are you talking about? Jerry suddenly became irritable, and then he rushed out from inside. He stared at me with anger on his face. Jennifer and I are innocent. If we really have something, will it be your turn to discover it? His defense was pale and powerless, and very ridiculous. I looked at him and laughed contemptuously. Next time you deny, remember to put on your clothes properly. I reached out and circled my hand around my neck. Jerry was stunned and pulled up the collar of his shirt to cover the strawberry print. Stop talking nonsense. He gritted his teeth and then pulled me over. Aren't you here to apologize? Then don't say the rest of the nonsense. You apologize to Jennifer first to make her happy, and then I will arrange a new bone marrow transplant evaluation for you immediately. If there is a problem with this transplant again, it will be useless for you to pretend to faint. He warned me sternly. I said nothing and let him drag me in. In the ward, Jennifer lay weakly on the bed. When she saw Jerry coming in, she immediately wanted to hug him. Jerry looked distressed and hugged her to comfort her. I looked at the two people who were deeply in love and my heart was inevitably a little bitter. Once upon a time, these were also my privileges. It seems that my guess is right. You two have indeed slept in the same bed for a long time. I looked at Jerry and said calmly. He was startled and said stubbornly, I was only in the room because it was convenient for me to accompany her. This does not mean that I slept in the same bed with her. There is not even a stool in the room. You didn't sleep on her bed, so you slept standing? I asked sarcastically. Jerry was speechless. Before he could speak, Jennifer struggled and shook. I'm sorry, Anne. I insisted on letting Jerry stay with me. She panted and tried to explain to me. You also know that I only have Jerry as a relative here. Without him, I would be abandoned by the whole world. If you really mind, then let Jerry go home. I don't mind, she continued with a little sob. Jennifer's half-dead look really made people feel pitiful. It was just that her standard tea talk was really unbearable for me. He is my legal husband, but he appeared in another woman's bed. Can you give me a reason not to mind? I stared at Jennifer coldly. She was speechless because of my retort. I knew that she must have thought that I would still obey her words for Jerry's sake as before. But after waking up before, I had made up my mind. If I continued to toss like this, I would definitely die earlier than Jennifer. What was more, Jerry had caused me to lose everything I cherish. I would never let these two people go. Shut up. Jerry's scolding brought me back to reality. He stared at me with resentment, his hands tightly around Jennifer. I didn't expect you to be such a vicious woman. Jennifer is a patient now, and she is a leukemia patient. Why don't you have any mercy at all? He scolded me with his face standing on the moral high ground again. Jerry, don't quarrel with her. It's really my fault. I shouldn't destroy your family. Go away. Jennifer cried and pushed Jerry away. Jerry stroked her head distressedly and said, "How could you destroy our family? I don't even know her. You are the most important person to me." Although I was extremely disappointed before, although I thought I had made all preparations, but when I heard the conversation between Jerry and the other person, I still felt a pain like a knife in my heart. I smiled bitterly and raised my head. Since you no longer remember me, I think you will not have any objection to divorcing you now. I stared into Jerry's eyes. His eyes were flustered for a moment, but soon returned to normal. Are you done yet? Jerry's eyes darkened, staring at me and scolding. Jennifer is a patient. How can she be alone when she is so weak? Besides, she is like this now. Do I still have the mind to do anything about wife and husband relationship? Can you be a little more mature and open-minded? He snorted coldly, with an expression that he thought he saw through me, but I still had no expression on my face. So I let you concentrate on accompanying her, and even after divorcing me, you can immediately marry the person who is most important to you. Am I not mature enough and open-minded enough? I asked him slowly. Perhaps at this time Jerry finally realized that I was not joking. He looked at me hesitantly, but he was about to say something. Ah! Suddenly Jennifer cried out in pain. She curled up on the bed, her face full of pain. Yes, I'm sorry, Anne. I really know I was wrong. Take Jerry away. Don't bully me anymore. I'm really in pain. She kept begging me for mercy. I didn't know if she was pretending, but she definitely said that on purpose. Jerry, this idiot, still chose to believe her without hesitation. Get out now. He pointed at me and roared. I looked at him expressionlessly for the last time, then turned and left. Jerry, I gave you the last chance.